As Iran's 78th wave of True Promise 4 missiles batters Dimona, Tel Aviv, and Eilat, is Netanyahu staring at a new headache? With Trump now openly pushing negotiations and announcing a 5-day pause on strikes, has the US effectively abandoned Bibi's hardline war script against Tehran? If Israel's war goals hinged on crippling or ousting the Iranian regime, are those ambitions now shattering as Washington blinks and Tehran keeps firing back? Netanyahu left disappointed, as Iran's leadership still stands strong and launches non-stop attacks on key easterly targets? We will safeguard our vital interests in any situation. Trump's claim that the US and Iran are now negotiating to end the war appears to have upset Israel, with local coverage citing alarm in political and security circles. Israeli analysts have spoken of a sense of disappointment and confusion after Trump's remarks, which seemed to undercut Israel's hardline messaging on pressing the war. For months, Israeli leaders have presented themselves as being at the forefront of the fight against Iran, insisting they are leading the push to roll back Tehran's power. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has frequently boasted that he helped convince Washington to launch strikes on Iran and shaped key phases of the campaign. On March 23, Netanyahu appeared to frame Trump's changed stance as a calculated move, suggesting the US president was leveraging battlefield success to gain advantage in any talks. Earlier today, I spoke with our friend, President Trump. President Trump believes there is a possibility to leveraging the mighty achievements obtained by the Israel Defense Forces and the US military in order to realize the goals of the war in a deal that will preserve our vital interests. At the same time, we are continuing to strike both in Iran and in Lebanon. We are smashing the missile program and the nuclear program, and we continue to severely strike Hezbollah. Just a few days ago, we eliminated 2 more nuclear scientists, and there is more to come. We will safeguard our vital interests in any situation. Despite this public spin, analysts say that even talk of a negotiated end to the conflict is unsettling for Israel's leadership and security establishment. Experts note that forcing the ouster or collapse of the Iranian government has effectively become one of Israel's strategic war objectives. Yet the Islamic Republic remains in place and has continued to rain down missiles on Israeli territory while talks and ceasefire hints play out. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that it had launched the 78th wave of Operation True Promise 4 on March 23, continuing its ongoing retaliatory campaign. In this latest wave, Iran said it targeted highly sensitive Israeli locations, specifically naming Dimona, Tel Aviv, and Eilat as key areas under attack. According to the IRGC statement, the strikes employed armored ballistic missiles, multi-warhead Qadr missile systems, and armed drones to hit the designated targets. Iran noted that the city of Dimona, which hosts Israel's main nuclear reactor complex, was being targeted for the second time within days. Iranian outlet Press TV earlier claimed that a previous counterstrike on Dimona and the nearby city of Arad caused more than 200 casualties, including dead and wounded. The IRGC further asserted that several US military bases across the Middle East were also struck during the 78th wave of Operation True Promise 4. The IRGC statement read, quote, "The 78th wave of Operation Sadek Promise 4, supported by the clenched fists of the great Iranian nation in the streets and the missiles of the brave soldiers in the field, which were delivered to the American and Zionist aggressors under the rain tonight, marked a different record in the history of war. In this operation, which is carried out with the sacred code or the reason of the adversaries, the noble people of the eastern strip of the country, including North Khorasan, Razavi, South Khorasan, and Sistan and Baluchistan, the heroes of this wave, targets in Eilat, Dimona, and north of Tel Aviv and some of the bases of the American terrorist army in the region were precisely hit by the multi-warhead AMA and Qadr point-of-care systems and destructive drones." The Israel Defense Forces reported that it detected an overnight Iranian ballistic missile attack directed at Jerusalem and central parts of Israel. The Iranian missile barrage triggered air raid sirens in Ashkelon, Beit Shemesh, and multiple surrounding communities, sending residents into shelters. Video evidence indicated that a missile aimed at the Haifa area was equipped with a cluster bomb warhead, dispersing submunitions over the target zone. One of these cluster munitions damaged a residential home in a suburb of Haifa, showing clear blast and fragmentation effects on the structure. Emergency medical teams and rescue services responded quickly to the impact site, and authorities reported that no physical injuries were recorded in that specific incident. In northern Israel, Officials said one man suffered light injuries after stepping on a fragment from a missile, highlighting the danger from residual debris. Israel's health ministry stated that it is treating several people for severe anxiety and stress reactions following the missile attacks, even where no direct injuries occurred. Earlier in the crisis, Trump had publicly threatened to hit Iran's energy infrastructure if Tehran kept the Strait of Hormuz closed to shipping. But on March 23, he announced a 5-day break in strikes on Iranian power plants and energy sites, citing what he called very good and productive talks with Tehran. Iranian officials, including the parliament speaker, have refuted those claims, saying no negotiations with the U.S. are taking place and labeling such reports as fake news.
Mr. President, Iran's foreign ministry says you're not telling the truth when it comes to productive conversations.
Well, they're going to have to get themselves better public relations people. We have had very, very strong talks. We'll see where they lead. We have major points of agreement. I would say almost all points of agreement. Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces. They're unable to talk to each other. So we've had very strong talks. Mr. Witkoff and Mr. Kushner had them. They went, I would say, perfectly. I would say that if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict, and I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great relationships with a lot of them, as you know. A lot of them were surprisingly hit, and I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else, but we have, they're very much in mind in the discussions. So the discussions took place yesterday. They went into yesterday evening. They want very much to make a deal. We'd like to make a deal too. We're going to get together today by probably phone because it's very hard to find a country. It's very hard for them to get out, I guess. But we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes. And if it goes well, we're going to end up with settling this. Otherwise, we just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Speaking with Mr. President.
A top person, don't forget. We've wiped out the leadership phase 1, phase 2, and largely phase 3. But we're dealing with a man who I believe is the most respected and the leader. It's a little tough. They've wiped out everybody.
Is that the Supreme Leader?
No, not the Supreme Leader. We don't. Well, nobody heard of the second Supreme Leader, the son. Nobody. We have not heard from the son. Every once in a while, you see a statement made, but we haven't. We don't know if he's living. But the people that seem to be running it, and they seem that based on really fact, because things they've said have taken place.
Mr. President,
I can't.
Mr. President, I know you
Because I don't want him to be killed. Okay? I don't want him to be killed.
Mr. President,
Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants that job right now. You know, nobody's exactly looking forward to being the head of that particular country. But perhaps we'll be able to solve that problem.
In the meantime, Iranian media on March 24 reported new airstrikes on 2 energy facilities inside the country, despite the announced pause. Those reports said the targets included natural gas infrastructure in Isfahan and a gas pipeline feeding the Khorramshahr power plant in southwestern Iran.